In 2019, indie developer Adam Pipe released a game called No Players Online. The gameplay was simple and the story was short, and late last year it got a full release on Steam, finally cementing itself as a full and complete game. It's 20 quid though, and that money could be spent elsewhere. So instead, I got his most recent game, Skinface. Released 8th of February 2026, Skinface is a short time trial game where you have to try get the best score possible. But playing the game, it's clear, something's off. Looking at the store page, it's very brief. The banner displays you, the player, with your face mildly odd.
Ow! What are you screaming about?
And the bio is framed as a mission slip. Eliminate target at residence. And instead of going full guns blazing, the method advised to you is to become their friend. It sounds wholesome. I mean, apart from the creepy banner, all you have to do is seemingly play Mario Party until he lets his guard down. However, you soon find out, no, this isn't wholesome Mr. Beast Chungus 100 game, it's less spooky horror game. The gameplay is really straightforward. You're given a task to kill a man in this apartment block, but you need to find a way into his apartment. You do this by imitating one of his friends. How do you imitate one of his friends? Well, you find a friendly pedestrian, and you give him the equivalent of a friendly British hug. Soon after, the coppers arrive. Oh, look at that, Mark. If they notice you, make sure to run quickly, as they'll charge you like a tank in Left 4 Dead. And it's not forgiving either. If you get caught, unlucky, you start over. But staying one floor above or below at all times pretty much alleviates this threat. Because, yes, they are dead set on killing you, but they also have stage 8 dementia and cataracts, so them being a real challenge isn't really an issue.
Gone.
Clicking tab, you can see yourself, and after willingly receiving the correct features, you successfully deceive the man and proceed to do unspeakable things to his face. And that's Skinface. It's a really simple game with a very confusing premise. Replaying the game, you can try and beat your time, getting a higher ranking, but it's pretty hard. Due to the RNG this game uses, the faces you're supposed to replicate can be incredibly infuriating. Not because they're weird, but because with every consecutive playthrough, it feels like the NPCs are actively trying to screw you over. Which can be good, because now it feels justified ripping out their eyes, but it also makes trying to get a better score almost impossible. I even had one instance where I was so focused on finding more NPCs that I ran right into the police officer, ruining my run. I eventually got an A, but as someone who only goes off number scales, Mason, where are the numbers? The time trial didn't really interest me.
It insists upon itself.
The plot, of which there's kinda none, lets you interpret any motive you wish to imagine. A crazed serial killer? A government agent? The friendliest reform voter?
Up the rah!
There is a story, though it's very hidden. I believe it's sort of like a less trans Cruelty Squad. In Cruelty Squad, you, the player, operates a system where human life is practically worthless. And considering anyone and everyone can just Fortnite revive, it's no surprise that killing seems to be a normal thing. So when you're offered a chance to join Cruelty Squad, a company that operates like Smiling Friends if it was for killing, you join instantly. Your job through the game is to take out any and all personnel depending on the client's request. This ranges from killing the average Funko Pop collector,
I can smell you,
to average CEOs. This usually ends up with you becoming a puppet for the corporation with your actions not your own, and then becoming a god. I wonder what that reminds me of. Nope, I did my part. I'm not thinking about that game. Nope, I'm done. I'm done. In spite of this, Skinface differs slightly, mostly in atmosphere. You are someone who is in debt to whoever controlled the state. And it's my consensus that, due to the fact that the player model is the burnt Gmod model, you're forced to carry out assassinations to pay off those medical bills. Or something along those lines. Looking closer at the mission note, it mentions that the target hasn't left their apartment in 2 weeks. So you can make the assumption that you and the man both hold debts. Yet you found a way to pay them, and he didn't. The art style is similar to many games of recent, and what comes to my mind is No, I'm Not a Human. It's a game I briefly played on stream and had an interesting experience.
And it's a blessing. I'll sin in the end. Live as righteous fucking ashes under its gaze!
The game revolves around you trying to survive through an end-of-the-world scenario. The sun's flaring up, making the Earth unlivable during daytime. This is made even worse by the fact that it woke up something from the ground. Visitors. Every night a group of people will gather at your door, begging to come in, and it's your responsibility to decide whether they're a visitor or not. And you let them in, depending on your answer. Letting a visitor in, it will start to kill the humans you're trying to keep safe, and eventually kill you. You can also be a neat and choose not to let anyone in, but this will result in a special visitor killing you instead.
Right, what's wrong? Right. Right.
Going off vibes, you're forced to endure multiple days where you'll encounter a barrage of folks needing your protection, and through meeting these people you learn their stories, and in doing so learn more about this world. Militarization, with a government organization called FEMA practically replacing the government, and as you play the game you see how their actions slowly become more and more authoritarian, where at the start you could have a relatively normal conversation with them, and at the end FEMA just steals people from your house for pointless experimentation. There's maniacs that act their hearts off to be normal, then when letting them in, you realize that they're actually schizo. And this goes for killers too, with a man that will occasionally stalk your home checking if you're a visitor, killing you if he suspects anything. And if you make it to the 14th day, you'll have to bunker down in your basement until everything's cooled over. There are a variety of endings that I won't delve into too much, but No I'm Not a Human perfectly utilizes this unique, overly saturated drawn art style to produce an uncanny feeling in the player, where something's off, but you can't really tell what it is. Although, it's pretty obvious most of the time. No I'm Not a Human plays with this feeling as to force the player into a genuinely uneasy frame of mind, where every knock you hear on your door feels like a threat. This is escalated when asking the tool figure why he didn't just break through the door. Because he clearly can, he took out a whole platoon of trained FEMA soldiers. But asking him gets you nowhere. The tool visitor is playing a drawn out mental game with you, expecting at some point you'll just invite him in. And let's be honest, if the game went on for more than 14 days, most players would just let him in to see what happens. And that's what he wants. It's amazing. Nonetheless, this wave of overly saturated art blended with IRL footage has become incredibly prevalent in the indie game sphere. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's not at the ARG level yet where everything looks and sounds the same. In fact, I believe it's a pretty easy and creative way to make a game look good and feel good, but I picked out Skinned Face because it's a perfect example of the direction smaller indie games are going. It's a bite-sized experience that pretty much offers infinite playability. It's got a story that's very well hidden, but provides enough to which you can confidently play the game knowing there's a reason you're there. And the gameplay follows this pattern. It's not confusing or complicated, but it's interactive enough to which it feels like you're not just drifting through the game. The threat, of which there's kind of none, makes the overall experience incredibly tense, knowing that if you don't have your eye on him constantly, he could be right around the corner. Overall, for a game that was quickly made for the Global Game Jam 2026, it's pretty Groot. I give it 7 Jungkooks out of 12 AI displays. Look at this package. Look at this package. Look at this. I can... Wait. Alright. My name's Jeff Notebook. My name's Jeff Notebook.